The current theory commonly used to explain the evolution of dogs is that wolves followed humans and fed on the leftovers they produced. Over time, the wolves that were less shy could get closer to humans and be first to get to any leftovers. As they continued to get closer, wolves and humans began to live side by side, which is when man begins to intentionally feed them and start the domestication of modern dogs. I personally feel this theory is flawed. First of all, it discounts the fact that wild dogs have evolved to be much more skilled hunters than man. Primates have had little experience hunting live animals. And even though they clearly had some success, it's hard to believe they would have been more successful than the canines that already occupied that niche. Secondly, like many theories about humans, it has clear egotistical bias. It puts humans in on top, and makes other animals dependent on humans. However, I see no clear reason why these roles could not have been reversed. In fact, since dogs would have better adapted to hunting, I think it's more likely that they would have been reversed. At the time dogs began to be domesticated, humans already had some useful tools, like fire and weapons. Humans also have large brains and language, which allowed them to better plan and to come up with new ideas. I believe humans should have been able to track animals relatively easily. However, rather than tracking prey animals, I believe humans found it easier to track wild dogs. Since wild dogs had a better sense of smell and could go faster with four legs, wild dogs would have been first to reach prey animals after a prey was killed. However, it needed to be defended. This is where I believe humans had the upper hand. Dogs had not evolved to defend against things like fire or weapons, and so could not defend their kill. It is only at this point that dogs would have started to feed on human leftovers. Humans may have even shared some meat with the dogs, so that they would be well fed and continue to be tracked. Over time, the dogs would continue to become less fearful of humans, allowing them to cooperate in hunting. Because humans and dogs have such different traits, cooperation created a very powerful team that could much more easily catch prey than either dogs or humans alone. This cooperation and unity between the two species continued throughout human history, eventually allowing for the development of the wide variety of traits currently seen in modern dogs.